Yo, what is happening, my people? Thank you so much for joining me again. Good day to one, good day to all. I hope this video finds you and your loved ones well. As the video title states, I have been a guest in the Philippines for 1 year. As a matter of fact, today marks my 1 year to the day. I can't believe how fast this 1 year went. It literally was a blur. Viewers seem to like the walking or exploration backdrops while they ingest these types of videos, so here's my attempt at it. If you would be so kind as to let me know in the comments what you think about my choices of backdrop, I would really appreciate it. I did in fact put a lot of work into this video in hopes of helping at least one expat, so please be so kind as to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You know what time it is. Without further ado, let's get it. The Philippines, just as any country in this world, there are a lot of ups and downs, and I would like to preference this video with the following. I have really enjoyed my time here, and currently I have absolutely zero regrets of quitting my six-figure job, selling my belongings, selling my house, which I built and truly made it my home, to retire in the Pearl of the Orient Seas, also known as the Philippines. It's a country that's often misunderstood, romanticized, and even denigrated for not being like country X. For me personally, I think the best approach is to don't expect anything and you won't be disappointed. That said, I'm only flesh and blood, and there are some things that has frustrated the hell out of me, made me uncomfortable, and indeed even angered me. But I try to bring myself back to center, grab my pressure points on my ears, and woosah. Everything's gonna be all right.
Remember your pressure points.
Having compiled this list over the last 12 months, it has become quite lengthy, so I will break it up into multiple videos as to be respectful of your time. So, having said that, I will get into what you click for, and I will start with the country in many places is absolutely beautiful. I'm talking storybook. But I also have never been to a country that has such beautiful places, yet also has such abject misery and poverty. I didn't want to take any pictures of the homeless and the people begging for money and the children that can't be any older than 7 years old trying to sell you towels on the streets for money. It just doesn't feel right to do so in order to put them in a video on the internet, you know? But yeah, there's plenty of poverty here. Like, I recall this one time when I very first visited the Philippines in September of 2023 to scope out Cebu City to see if it would be a good place for me to move when I, in fact, did move to the Philippines. I saw a young girl that couldn't have been any older than 3 years old. Listen, what I'm saying, 3 years old, holding a naked infant, was probably no more than 5 months old, on the side of the street. As I walked past these children, I stopped about 50 feet away and waited there for about 5 minutes to see if there was a parent, guardian, or even someone who gave a damn about these children was around. Alas, no such adult figure was to be seen, high or low. That image of those children has been burned into my subcortex forever. It was truly heartbreaking to witness for the first time, and sadly, it was not the last time I've seen something similar that breaks my heart with homeless children. And I take no solace in saying this now, but I've seen it so many times at this point. It's just part of my experience now. While still heartbreaking, it's nowhere near as it was the very first time. Simply put, there's a lot of poverty here. But again, the dynamic of the country is something you could never grasp by watching a video or reading about it. You have to get on the plane, fly to friendly skies, and see it firsthand for yourself. Let's get a major point of frustration out of the way from Jump Street. The phrase, "I'm sorry, sir, unavailable," is heard much more often than you think, expect, and at times it is very hard to tolerate. I recently was in the market for a Wi-Fi 7 router and went to the mall to peruse what they had in stock. Take a moment and take a look at these pictures. There is a Wi-Fi 7 sign on the entrance to the store, and there are 8 Wi-Fi 7 signs here. But upon looking at the inventory, none of the routers on the shelf were in fact Wi-Fi 7. So I asked one of the sales associates to see their Wi-Fi 7 routers. The first sales associate was very visibly confused. So I pointed to the sign. He then asked one of his coworkers, and after a few seconds of them talking back and forth to one another, one of them told me, "Sorry, sir, not available."
Hold on.
Literally, why have the signs posted? I honestly doubt they've ever had them because the sales associates didn't even know what they were. So, yeah, that's another example. And I'm going to give you another. You sit down at a restaurant, toil over picking something you'd like to eat off the menu, and that perfect thing jumps out at you. And you're like, oh, yeah, that sounds good as hell. I'm about to tear this up. But when the waiter comes over to take your order, you're met with a, "I'm sorry, sir, unavailable." Son of a bitch! Okay, all right. Let me look at the menu again. As he's standing there, the pressure is mounting because you don't want him waiting there too long, right? So you find your second option and you inform the waiter, "I'll just go with the chicken adobo." I mean, you really can't go wrong with that, right? It is one of the staple dishes of the Philippines, so the pressure is off, right? Right?
Wrong. Wrong.
"Sorry, sir, not available." I mean, this can't be life. Oh, but my friends, it is very common life here in the Philippines. And I'm warning you now, it will frustrate you and maybe even anger you a bit. Sure, you may think, just pick something else. Well, that's the sort of thinking that happens to someone who hasn't been here for an extended amount of time. And after the 60th time, "Sorry, sir, not available." Trust me, it will chap your ass just a little bit. All right, last thing on this topic that happened to me. Fresh fruit smoothies are very common here in restaurants, and let me tell you, they on a hot day are like a little slice of heaven. You hear me? Well, this one time in particular, I asked for a fruit shake and was met with the obligatory, "Sorry, sir, ice is unavailable." And as you sit there in bewilderment and try to work out in your head, how in the name of Zeus's a-hole is ice not available? I mean, we talking about
Ice.
You then come to your senses and you shake it off and just ask for service water. And just in case you didn't know, you can't drink the water from the tap here in the Philippines. And service water is just filtered water that all restaurants are required to have by law to serve their guests. And obviously, there will be no ice in the water, but hey, whatever. It'll still quench my thirst, so I'll just go with that. So we're enjoying our meal, and I see an ice courier bringing ice into the restaurant. And before I continue, let me set the table for you. In order to do that, I want you to hop in the Wayback Machine and go way back. And remember when you were little and your parents finally acquiesced to your 1 millionth time of asking them to go to McDonald's. Keep in mind, this is when McDonald's was a magical place. Remember when you got the different collector's cups, the toys and the Happy Meals, they were peak, and it wasn't the den of depression that it looks like today? Remember those days? You remember. Remember? Yeah, it was great, right? Right? Well, that's what it felt like when the Iceman came in. I waited until they finished unloading the ice and called the waiter over to the table. As I eagerly awaited him to arrive at the table, I then exclaimed, "I would like the combination mango, pineapple, and kiwi fruit shake now that the ice has arrived." "Sorry, sir, not available. We don't have the fruit for the shake." I'm about to lose my damn mind over a fruit shake. I had been taken on a roller coaster ride of emotions over a damn fruit shake. If he had told me they didn't have the fruit for the shake, that would have been a completely different story. Or better yet, tell me from Jump Street you don't have the ice nor the fruit to make the shake. I'm going through it in my head right now, just reliving the experience. It was so hot. True story. As you may or may not know, the Philippines is comprised of over 7,000 islands, Personally, I cannot imagine the logistical nightmare it must be to supply all of the inhabited islands and major cities. It must be a huge undertaking, so I will continue to practice my patience, say la vie, and once again remember my pressure points and have a Coke and a smile.
Woosah.
All right. I think I covered the sorry, sir, not available. I think you get the idea. Just simply put, just to put a nice bow on top of it, it gets annoying. It just it just does. One thing I actually do find very challenging is the term personal space is non-existent here. I do know a lot of people personally will have quite a difficult time with this one in particular. It doesn't matter if it's a man too close to another man, a man too close to another woman, or a woman too close to another woman. They stand too damn close,
You're too close, man. You're too close, man.
and it's quite uncomfortable to say the least. There's been a few times I wanted to tell the woman or the man behind me,
Be like, back up! Back up! Mind your business, that's all. Mind your business.
I will say I do think this is especially challenging for us former military members who have social issues, or even us trained in martial arts who never allow anyone within your 3 feet bubble. Yeah, I'm letting you know right now, you're going to have a hard time with this one. I have tried my breathing exercises to get me back out of my ready to retaliate state. Some days are easier than others. I just try to prepare myself mentally before I go out. And before you come over here, I want you to know so you can prepare yourself as well. All right, so as I said at the beginning of this video, I'm going to break this into multiple parts. And as we're coming up on the 12-minute mark, and I know how a lot of people are with their ADD and whatnot, I don't want to go too long. So I want to keep you interested and possibly come back for another. So as I said before, I put a lot of work into this. So please leave me a like, comment, and subscription. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.